Dude, you're like big time. You get the music going.
All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Faces of Business. I'm your host, Damon Pistolka. And with me today, it should go without introduction, but I will introduce the one and only Curt Anderson.
Hey, brother.
Welcome today, my friend.
Hey, dude. What an honor to be on Faces of Business, man. What a privilege. Thank you. I'm fired up for this.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we're a couple minutes late because we started talking about random stuff.
We're talking about the 80s.
Yep. Yeah, it's going down the road.
Good old
so
days.
Yeah, going good stuff. But anyway, so we got off on a tangent. Now we're gonna try to bring it back in.
Bring it back. We're very professional. Everybody knows that, Damon.
Yeah, they've been around me long enough for them to listen to this more than once. All right. Today we're going to talk about something, though, I think is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We spend a little time on it every week.
Just a little. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the manufacturing digital transformation that is underway. That is, everybody's talking about it. It is, I just don't know how you can get away from it.
It's what we live for. We eat, drink, breathe, sleep.
Yeah.
How to stop being the best kept secret, right?
Yeah,
so
you bet.
We're trying to help manufacturers. That's our stick. That's our thing. You and I have just, boy, what a great friendship. Gosh, we even got together in person this year. We saw eagles. We were on the Olympic Peninsula.
Some seals, a couple otters.
Professor Pete. We had all sorts of fun. So I think, obviously I'll be Captain Obvious with this past year with COVID. So yeah, manufacturers are just plunging. It is super exciting to watch just this whole movement transformation from spearheading made in America, made in USA is back to life, stronger than ever. Our dear friend Harry Moser from the Joint Initiative is just relentlessly on LinkedIn, posting, speaking everywhere he can, trying to fix these supply chain problems. Our dear friend Dan Bigger is just a relentless advocate and evangelist for manufacturing, U.S. manufacturing, and like really trying to create that bring back that competitive advantage is that digital footprint. Stop being the best kept secret. So many manufacturers have flown under the radar. Hey, we went to trade shows, sales reps. The belly to belly old school sales rep. We have a couple in our training program right now. God bless them. They're amazing. But even they're rolling up their sleeves and saying, we can't do it how we used to do it. We need to get caught up into the 21st century, into 2021. So a lot of exciting opportunities. Yeah,
I really think so, Curt. And one of the things I was excited about having you on today is talking to you about, you've probably literally spoken to several thousand people on webinars in the last year, talking about, digital transformation, e-commerce, stop being the best kept secret. So what are some of the common things that you see when people first go, well, I need to step up my digital game?
Let's go back to the basics, man. You and I, we're not young men anymore. We're young at heart, though, Damon. That's
young at heart. There we go.
Young at heart. So, even we'll go back to the 80s. When you and I were back in college in the 80s, what are the 4 P's of marketing? The basics, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, really, the difference is it's no different than it was 1900, 1950, 1980 to 2021. It's the basics. And I love what you always preach. It's not B2B. It's not B2C, it's human to human. And it's just understanding the human behavior, understanding your customers. And I think one of my biggest takeaways, and again, sorry for this shameless plug, we do these great e-commerce trainings with e-commerce management. And, we just got done with one today and folks were giving their testimonials and stuff. And it was just so rewarding, so refreshing. And I think one of our biggest takeaways, and I'm eager to hear what you think, is starting with the basic. Who is your ideal customer? That, you hear that buyer persona. And I know, boy, if you worked at the big corporations, Procter and Gamble, man, Dave Griffith, he's a Buffalo dude. Hey, David, how are you, my friend? We got together in person last year too at Niagara Falls, man. So he's a
nice.
Dave's a good dude. We got to have him on our Friday program. Dave.
There you go. I'm writing down.
Jot him down. He'd be great for your Faces of Business, by the way. David is an awesome, huge evangelist for manufacturing. Great dude. We met through Chris Lukey's Manufacturing Happy Hour. Chris Lukey is going to be on our Friday program a week from this Friday. Super excited for that. But let's get back to that buyer persona.
Yeah.
You goof around, you hear avatar, ICP, your ideal buyer. We call them soulmates.
Soulmates, yeah.
Who are your soulmates? Who's that ideal buyer that not only are you as a manufacturer dying to find them, they are equally trying to find you. It works both ways. Supply chain is disrupted. I'm having disruption with maybe my current supplier, current vendor, what have you. And man, if you can't be found on search, if I can't find you on mobile, if I can't find you on LinkedIn, a video, you're the best kept secret. So I think understanding the first and foremost who that ideal buyer is, that soulmate, that is a critical first step. And I won't say shocking. It's interesting or surprising how many companies that we work with, that we train, where they're like, gosh, I don't know, anybody. I bend metal. So anybody that needs metal bent is my customer, But when you talk to them long enough, it's they don't bend metal for anybody or fabricate steel for anyone or print circuit boards for anyone. They're in a niche. And when you talk to them, then that's where the magic happens. Then all of a sudden, okay, now we have an opportunity to start hitting success.
Well, and I think too, really, when you bring up some good points, and it is, the internet is a completely different game than it was even 10 years ago, and certainly 20 years ago. And we still see a lot of people, like when we were talking with you do a lot of work with MEPs, and you and I were on a call with a MEP. Well, we won't have to mention them by name if we don't, but they were mentioning that over half of the people in their manufacturers in their state did not have websites.
Oh,
and you were on the call, and I'm trying to imagine, how do those people sell? I mean, how do they sell with that? Because the phone changed the way that we do so many things now, and Google and the phone and everything. It's like, I hope that we're seeing more and more people finally take the plunge into, hey, let's get online. We have to look at some of these things because it's not working the way we want to. And I always come back, and when I'm allowed to speak in some of these things, I talk about, old dudes, because I am one. Yeah. We're not the buyers anymore.
Right.
I'm not your buyer. I might be the guy that's trying to sell. I might be the guy that's the owner in that manufacturing place. I might be one of the guys working in that manufacturing place, but the buyers are much younger. Those buyers grew up with Google and doing the searching to find what they need. And if you're not found there, whoever is going to be the one that they're going to check out and contact.
Exactly. And odds are the particular folks that we're speaking of, and God bless them, as manufacturers, boy, they are working relentlessly. They are, look at the fires that manufacturers, David, if you're still out there, you see it firsthand in the field. You're dealing with massive HR issues, labor shortages. How do I keep my employees safe? Are they wearing masks? Have they had a vaccine? Like so many challenging issues. PPP, is our company essential? Did we close? My goodness. How did these manufacturers survive? Then you throw in supply. I was talking with a manufacturer the other day. Their lead times have gone from 26 weeks to now they're at 42 weeks, 50 weeks of especially like in we're hearing like circuits and chips and all these other things. So when you look at everything that a manufacturer has to face on a daily basis, and they've built amazing, incredible businesses for probably decades, and in some cases generations. You and I did a great I thought it was great, but we had a super fun time at the New York MEP. And there was a company that was founded in 1865. The gentleman that founded the company was a Civil War vet, founded the company, started at 1865. It's here in New York, still going strong 150 plus years later. So again, manufacturers have a ton of things on their plate, fires that they're putting out nonstop, constantly. And in their defense, they had good businesses, still have good businesses. They're at capacity. Website just wasn't a priority,
Yeah.
But let me throw it back at you. What I love what you say, and we encounter a lot of manufacturers, they're at capacity. They couldn't take on a single other customer or another order right now. But what do they need? Labor.
Yeah.
And what are they competing with? Fast food. Because like in your area, in my area, where minimum wage is $15 an hour, they can go to a fast food place, and they're fighting for those fast food jobs.
Yeah.
And so now it's not just the wage, you need to have a competitive environment. And I love, if you want to share a little bit, you do a fantastic job. Hey, manufacturer, if you're not looking for a new business, that's great. But boy, that 20 something, that 30 something that is looking for a job, they're going online. If they can't find you or find out something about you, they're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you're making a great point, Curt, because I think that in some cases, as you said, where manufacturers are very busy already with existing work, labor is more important to them than finding another customer right now. And it's just as important for employees to be able to see that, hey, who are you? Do you have a good place to work? Mm-hmm. Do you have a sense of community? What other, do I have an opportunity to grow with your company? Just all these questions that they have. And there's a lot more. And the fast food, and I'll just back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. The fast food industry has had to work very, very hard for many years to compete and get people. So they're used to this, right?
Yep.
Now, manufacturers, while they've had to work hard to find employees, not like they have to do today, and certainly not when it comes to the point that you have to be thinking about, how do we look online to potential employees?
Right.
That's for some, that's a foreign thought.
It's a foreign concept because, in say places where, again, where there's heavy manufacturing, boy, typically when times are good, you can jump from one manufacturer to the next, they're going to pay a decent competitive wage, but that manufacturer, they would recruit, but boy, not like today, man. It's a totally different world. So again, from that digital standpoint, and I love the millennial generation, you have a couple kids right in that, right in the heartbeat of that generation. And, they want to know, what are you doing in the community? Are you giving back? How do you treat your employees? They want to look and see what you're doing on Facebook or on Instagram or YouTube videos or what have you. Just like that ideal client, that customer, those soulmates that are checking you out to see what type of processes, machinery, so on and so forth that you have behind those closed doors. Boy, that employee wants to know the exact same thing. So, so folks that are, that internet thing, social media, it's never going to catch up with us. It's, boy, you're really putting yourself at a tough, difficult disadvantage if you are in that case,
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? I am really quite pleased though. Some companies that I've known, actually one of them that I actually started working with right while I was in college yet.
Right.
I've seen their social media take off. And I was talking to the owner of that business a few weeks ago, and he said, yeah, we've got a whole, we've got a social media person now. He said, I never thought we would ever have it, and he goes, and it's actually fun for us to do the things that we're doing and get the pictures taken and, all this kind of stuff that we're doing to help show what we do in the community and with our employees and how we celebrate our employees and things like that. So, there's people out there that are getting into this and making it fun and a part of their business, just like all the other stuff that we've had to go through before, not go through, but we've evolved through before, as lean manufacturing and ISO and AS 9100 or QS, whatever your industry you're in, and all the things and the changes we've dealt with. Now we have to go through this whole digital thing again. And I think, as you said, manufacturers are really busy. There's a lot of things they have to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's so many gems that are just waiting to be shown.
Yeah, that I love that. And so, and again, I'm sorry to give a shout out, with the training we just completed, an hour ago. So one of the folks, digital immigrant, probably our age-ish generation, our generation, and, came in and he said, man, when I first started out, a little daunting, overwhelming. And he said, you know what, I'm now inspired. I have a plan, and man, it was extremely motivating and inspiring hearing the way he was talking about, boy, he goes, what I did in 2010 isn't applicable today, but now, getting out there, capturing the tools and resources. And again, like we're here on LinkedIn. So folks that are on LinkedIn, you're already leaps and bounds ahead of, a lot of other folks. It's like, we're just trying to get that message out, and you've mentioned the MEPs a couple of times. Again, if any of your raving fans, your listeners are like, what the heck is an MEP? What are they saying?
Yeah.
So that's the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And there's a Manufacturing Extension Partnership, an MEP, in every state, all 50 states. So in your corner of the world is Impact Washington.
Yeah.
Some states have multiple centers. New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania have multiple centers. Some will have like one main center, then regional satellite offices, if you will. But what they are, again, for we'll segue into this for a second. Any of the entrepreneurs out there, again, a lot of us on LinkedIn, solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, and you feel like you're in a silo, feel like you're in an island. Man, we're grinding. It is you use that line, boy, you eat what you kill, and if you didn't kill anything today, you're not eating, right? So you feel like you're alone or you're just out there. There's so many resources out there at the disposal for entrepreneurs. So we do a lot of work with the Small Business Development Center, the SBDCs. We just interviewed Sarah, wonderful, amazing, beautiful Sarah. It's her birthday today. I wish her happy birthday this morning. We had a great interview with her. She's at the SBDC, Small Business Development Center at Temple University. You just crushed it with a great webinar last week. And their services are completely free and confidential. And so there's 1,000 centers throughout the entire country.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to not, go to a local small business development center. If you're a manufacturer, check out your local manufacturing extension partnership and just see what are these resources that are available for you. And I know you've done a great job really plunging into partnering and working with these SBDCs, MEPs, either doing webinars, speaking, engaging, partnering, helping your clients with those services.
Well, it's just, I think it's part of the outreach that we need to do, because I think in any of the the free or paid things that I've been involved with, the big thing is getting enough knowledge to be dangerous in this, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not going to be the technical experts like we are in programming a 5-axis CNC machine, or producing the best whatever boiler system in the world. We're not, you're not going to be technical like you are at those kind of things. I think when it comes to the internet, digital marketing, whatever you want to call it, e-commerce, and as you know, Curt, and as I'll explain, in our world, e-commerce really doesn't mean Amazon only. Could be, but really it's doing business with digitally, and that's changed so much, because that could be part of it's digital, and then it's talking to people and finishing up the business part of it. How it could be all online. It really doesn't matter, but getting enough knowledge to be dangerous, because you want to make sure that you are spending the money, if you are going down that digital path, with resources that are going to get you some results. That's the thing that we really are trying to do in anything that I think the MEPs are doing, the kind of things that we're doing independently of that, or with the SBDCs, is really get the knowledge so that you can be dangerous enough to get the right help.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. And it's not easy. We talk with folks, we're like, man, it's overwhelmed. You call it like the social media fatigue. We're like, man, 1 minute I need a tweet. Now you're telling me I need to do Instagram. Now what's this Pinterest thing? What's Snapchat? Like TikTok, like, my goodness, how many platforms are there? And that's, again, like when you strip it back down to the basics, and you focus on who is your client, who's your audience. And that's what I love what you do at Exit Your Way, is you don't talk the talk, you walk the walk. And we kid around about being digital immigrants, but you do an amazing, amazing job where, if we looked at your digital footprint in 2018 compared to where you are in 2021, is there a little difference, or how?
Yeah, there's a little difference.
Just slightly, right?
There's a little difference.
I mean, like, you've gone relentlessly on faces of business, and what you do an excellent job. You're shining a bright light on other business owners, other folks in business in your space. You're a growth and exit strategy specialist. So that's what you're going to preach about. Those are the folks that you're connecting. These are the conversations. You're bringing value, no expectations. You're just delivering value to your folks, planting those seeds out there. We do our Friday webinar program, which we have a super wonderful, fun time. We've had great guests. And again, what the intention is trying to help those ideal clients, our soulmates.
Yep.
How can we just relentlessly help them move the needle and make this digital transformation? So we get millennials in our classes, we get, younger folks, but, a lot of times it's digital immigrants or we'll say more seasoned, more mature crowd, more polite way to put it. But, we want to speak that language. So whatever business that you're in, that's the language that you want to speak, and that's what we talk about on your website. How do you speak that right language? Now, you also, dude, we had a great call yesterday. You dropped a bomb. There's a company that does like these giant tanks. Yeah. And we were sitting there, they're thousands of dollars, and bam, you're like, hey, you should put those on Amazon. And let me tell you why. And it was just such a radical concept. I thought it was just brilliant, dude. I was giving you a standing ovation. Talk a little bit about, manufacturers, even in their custom manufacturer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about the benefits of, taking advantage of the marketplaces for those custom manufacturers.
I think that's a good question. I was thinking about that. I'm supposed to be the one interviewing you.
Dude, we're having a conversation.
That's okay.
It's back.
So you know what I think? I think that over the last 10 or so years, I started in engineering and operations and managing the manufacturing businesses. But really what I've realized is that I was woefully underprepared to really run manufacturing businesses because I didn't concentrate on sales enough. And honestly, Jeffrey Graham and other salespeople that I've worked with in the last 10 years have really taught me a lot about how important it is to really think outside the box. And, every day, as you and I have talked about before, what are you doing for revenue producing activities? Mr. Ben Wentworth, the fractional CFO, gave me that term, and I use it relentlessly because it is something we have to do. We have to think about, okay, where's the new place that I haven't thought of to try to sell? How do I get my products out in front of my products or services out in front of more people? This instance was they have a product. It's a product. Yes, it's thousands of dollars. But if I want to sell that to somebody, and you've done it with other products, maybe not as expensive, but if I want to sell that to somebody and I'm going to sell a multi-$1,000 tank to somebody, they can swing buying it off of Amazon.
Right. Absolutely.
I got product in stock. They can see it. Well, what I just did, I have traffic. Amazon's got more traffic than anybody. I don't know, on the internet other than Google, probably. I was probably like Google, then Amazon, right? I don't know. I don't study it that close, but I know there's something. It was like 200 and some million, billion, 2 billion visits a month or something like that on Amazon.
Right.
There's got to be a couple people that are looking for a specialized fuel tank, and are willing to pay a few $1,000 for it, right?
Right.
That's the only thing that came to mind. Now I come back to running the manufacturing businesses in the past and some of the other smaller manufacturers. There could be a product you're building that you've tried to sell. You've gone, I made this because I see this a lot,
Right.
When I was in sheet metal or in CNC machining, they come up with something. It's like, hey, this is a great little
widget. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it works good.
A better mousetrap.
Yeah, it was something that works good. It was a bracket for a wall hanger or something. Well, in those days, you're going to try to put it on your website and sell it. Well, you can sell like 100 of them. Sell them to your friends and family, and then you're done.
Right.
I mean, I come back to all kinds of things, like even jalapeno popper cookers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You think it's something that funny? But it's something that crazy. But one of the companies I ran, the owner's like, hey, I want to make some jalapeno popper cookers for the grill. So you mean we had stainless steel, we had lasers, we had, all the stuff. We boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we got these cool little one piece he designed really slick.
Right.
And probably could have sold thousands of them, never even tried. Because at that time it's you don't have something. Today, I would have put that on Amazon in a second.
Dude, I absolutely love this concept. And again, it's a different mindset. And you walk, dude, I love that. You're what a vulnerable statement to say, hey, this was my deficiency at this time. And again, you can't be everything to everyone. You can't be everything to yourself in your own business,
Yeah.
So for the entrepreneurs out there, you have 10, 20, 30 employees. 1 minute you're throwing your CFO hat on. Next minute you're throwing HR hat. Next thing you're throwing operations. Well, odds are you're not proficient or an expert in every category, let alone marketing and this whole digital marketing thing. So that's why trying to align yourself with these experts. And then that's why, again, another shout out to SBDCs, small business development centers, MEP,
people there.
These training programs, going to webinars, educating yourself. So you don't have to be the expert in all these different categories. But like you're saying, just enough to be dangerous, but then aligning yourself and how can you capture that variable expense instead of hiring an expensive person, the CFOs, Dave Dave that was on, if he's still with us or was on earlier, he's like a hired gun that can come in and fix your problems and stuff. But let's dig a little deeper into that Amazon example. And this is why I was just in awe. I'm so proud of you when you dropped that, I'm like, look what, Mr. Traditional manufacturer through, and it had never crossed my mind. I try, I'm trying to be, hey, Mr. E-commerce. It didn't cross my mind, but we hear that resistance on oh, well, you don't we sell 5-figure items. You don't get it. That won't go on Zorro or Amazon. Our good friend, Brian Beck, who wrote the book, $1 Billion B2B E-commerce. He's speaking for us next week, 2 weeks at Temple University on our manufacturing webinar series. And he gives examples in his book of 7-figure items that are being sold on e-commerce and on marketplaces. And he said 6-figure items are being sold on Amazon and on e-commerce and marketplaces. And
you look at the people like in Gen Alpha with what they're doing with the large OEM manufacturers. I mean, you think of things like snowplows, street sweepers, snowcats for the mountains and ski lift areas. Those are not cheap things. There's multiple tens of thousands or hundreds of $1,000s things. And even when you look in the industrial things, in the mining trucks and Caterpillar, or Volvo selling the earth moving equipment. A lot of that's sold online anymore. People just say, I need one. And so these things that traditionally were not being sold like that are being sold like that every day.
And why? It's easy. It's easy. You're making, and again, why is Amazon? They make it so easy to, it's almost impossible not to buy from them. Let's go back in the day. Let's go back in the 1950s. What was cutting edge? Franchises. Why did McDonald's take over the country? They made it super easy to buy from them. And you know what else? It was consistent. I could walk into any McDonald's anywhere. You know what? I always kid around. You know what McDonald's was? It was a clean bathroom a place with a clean bathroom that happened to sell burgers. So, when mom and dad were traveling in the old station wagon back in our day, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, do I go to Joe's, grill, which probably might have the best, barbecue or best whatever, or do I play it safe? My kids are tired, they're cranky, I know it's gonna be a clean bathroom. Do I go to McDonald's? And so again, you want to make it as easy as humanly possible. And why we love preaching about e-commerce, there is no means that is easier, more efficient, more effective to sell and kick the tires with new product and new services than e-commerce. Because what are you putting up? A web page.
Yeah.
You're putting some, what's it cost to go on Amazon? $39.99 a month or something. What's it cost to go on Zorro?
Yeah.
$0. There's time, and I don't want to discount or diminish folks' time. However, if this is a colossal dud, it didn't work, what's your risk? you know?
Yeah, you make a few, you take a few images, take a video of using it, product, and you see if you can sell some, and you can test it out very easily that way. That's a great point. And I come back to too, that's something you really introduced last year when we were talking about it. And it's these things have really come a long way. And these are product configurators.
Oh yeah.
I think that this stuff is so exciting for me. And there's like I just jump up and down because I think there's so many companies that we could go out with or should be considering this, because when you look at what you can do with a configurator, and I think back to companies that I ran, 10, 15 years ago, and I'm like, if I would have had a configurator, I would have ruled. I would have ruled, right? So you're going to make a go-kart, right? I'm a go-kart manufacturer. Well, what kind of wheels do you want on it? What color do you want it? What kind of seat do you want it? What kind of motor do you put in it? Do you want the number plate or not? I mean, you just think about all the stuff you can do, or you look at something that you got that you can configure different lengths or size, just materials. And the things that you can do are just endless. And thinking of that, and then turning that into an e-commerce advantage, that means that now someone can order my product where they have to come to my competitor, and my competitor needs to take the call. Or I have one that everybody gets the same one. You get that go-kart. That's what you get, 1,000 of them. Or you can have your own custom go-kart. And I might not sell that thing in a big box retail store, but I'm probably going to make a lot more margin when I sell a custom one to somebody. And I probably create a longer term customer as well. And
absolutely,
these configurators are driving me crazy. Just drive me crazy, because I want to find some places that are really into putting them in. What are some of the interesting applications that you've seen for configurators in this last year?
Dude, we're e-commerce geeks, because we get so fired up over configurators. Chris Harrington would be so proud of us right now. So I'll take a step back. And so again, for manufacturers that are looking to get in e-commerce, especially those custom job shops are like, hey, you don't get it. We don't have a proprietary product. What we're talking about is, how do you take your proprietary process? Every custom manufacturer, I don't care what you make, you have processes. Grandma and grandpa might have, come up with these processes 50 years ago. Generations have been handed down. You have internal processes. How do you scale those? Number one, can you take a product that's ubiquitous or non-proprietary, where there's any type of violation? Can you turn that into a proprietary product, right? What Damon's describing here with the configurators is we're seeing wonderful, amazing solutions. So we'll run through a couple real quick. So Gen Alpha is an e-commerce firm for manufacturers in Wisconsin. They do an incredible job, and they are doing all sorts of different things. Do you see Ford just announced, I think 2 weeks ago, you can configure your own car on their website. National news, go right on the website, order exactly how you want it, custom order, comes to the dealer. There you go. Make it to order. It's like going to the restaurant. I'm going to order, exactly what I want.
Yeah.
You and I, when you and I had a wonderful, wonderful time together this summer, we got together, we visited amazing client over in Paulsbo, Washington, and Olympic Peninsula over yonder, took the ferry. And it was a chocolate manufacturer. They are creating a chocolate configurator where you can actually create your own chocolate packages and send them out. Now, what it's done, it's removed the customer service. So instead of somebody saying there, yeah, Damon, do you want some truffles? Do you want some, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and somebody sitting there taking that order, now you can configure. So we've seen chocolate. I always use a little ground strap example. We've seen, there's a t-shirt manufacturer that our friends Above the Fray are working on right now. So we've seen multiple different configurators. We had Vanessa and Noah on our show from Above the Fray. She has a jewelry configurator. So we've seen all sorts of different configurators, and this is huge.
And these are not just B2C; these are B2B too.
These are B2B. And so like, so the example I use in our workshops and webinars are my famous little ground strap, right? And we've seen Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Virgin Hyperloop. We've seen major B2B industrial clients landing on their website, and they use a configurator. Our friend Jeffrey Stern at Voice Express, he does, gosh, I have his products here. He does audio brochures.
Yep.
So it's a little brochure with a recording device where, like, hey, COVID, I can't go visit a customer. How do I communicate with that customer? You can send that audio brochure, and you can configure your own brochure on his website. So we could probably go talk all night about it, but we're very, very bullish on configurators for almost any manufacturer.
Yeah. I'm looking again. My thing that I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a configurator for, and I don't know why I picked this, but hydraulic hoses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you think about custom hydraulic hoses. I'm running a cat dozer out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And I'm not a huge company. I don't have everything sitting there. I blow a hose on that thing.
Right.
And I call, and they don't have it, or maybe I'm the maintenance guy for a big place, and we're all over the place, and you can just call it. If you could get that same day or next morning to you anywhere in North America, I think that would be something. But these things there's opportunities like this for people to radically change the way that they're doing business, and B2B business, not B2C, not just B2C, and really make these things work.
And let's run with that example. I love that idea. So take, a hose. So they're like, well, I don't need a standard size. And in those hoses, are there even a standard size? But the thing is, as the manufacturer, if I have the machinery, the equipment, the cutting equipment, the raw material, the skill set, I have everything in place. And there's not a huge, now I know, maybe, the argument would be, hey, wait a minute, what about setup? Okay. I totally get it. However, that job that is at a halt, there's a job that's dead in the water, and they need that hose. What would they pay to bail me out? Because like we're losing $10,000 an hour on production or whatever, whatever you're doing that you need that hose, and you can solve that problem. I'll pay a premium, and I can't find this hose anywhere else on the planet. And for me to take that hose, throw it online, cut it, make it, ship it. Now you're almost like the made to order. You're a manufacturer, almost a made to order cook, if you will.
Exactly. And I forgot about this because I've interviewed a couple of people on the Faces of Business, so I forgot, but I talked to Chuck Coxhead, and Chuck Coxhead actually did this with RF. Now I'm probably not saying this right, Chuck. Yeah. So don't forgive me.
Yeah.
RF shielded cable assemblies with different ends on them, right?
Yep.
So he helped convert a company to be that exact hydraulic hose kind of concept. They had to get inventory, right? You got inventory of the ends. They got inventories of different kinds of wiring they needed to do.
Right.
They could do that. They could literally turn orders, in days where other people took weeks. And he said, we killed it because we did that. We took that and we went on e-commerce and we did it like that. These are the kind of things where, yes, you may not compete on the million cable order, but do you want to?
Right. And you know what? And we're having fun.
I know. We can go crazy about this.
Let's dig into that, for example, with Chuck's example. Okay. So now let's throw on from you're an operations expert. Operationally, it fits through my flow. We love talking about the goal, right? Dr. Goldratt and throughput. It doesn't bog down the system if you have it in place. We're like, hey, we need this size. We need this size. This person needs it next day, or this person needs it, 2-week lead time, whatever. So you have your flow of creating that product. Let me throw in my marketing hat. If Chuck wanted to attack, let's throw in our keyword strategy, marketing, pay-per-click, social, whatever, right? Cable assemblies, cable manufacturer, very broad, right? I'm going to have a very difficult time coming up organically. I'm going to have a difficult time, non-paying high prices for search. But if I do RF custom cable that I need now, or, whatever that specific
next day
cable I need it, and again, when you niche it down, So instead of being everything to everybody, wire harness assembly, cable assembly,
Yeah.
by niching it down, now you can get more specific in in your keyword strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are things that I think that manufacturers are going to get scrappy. And that's the exciting thing about being around manufacturing now and seeing what we're seeing. And, and then you take the combination of the younger people getting involved and bringing that digital knowledge into the industry. It's really an exciting time. I get excited just seeing people that are getting into it.
Yeah, I think we are so bullish for the industry, bullish for, opportunities. There's just a wealth and abundance. And again, it's not it's not grandma and grandpa's manufacturing anymore. There's a lot of cool cutting edge things that are going on behind the scenes and a lot of marketing strategies, opportunities. I love that word. We got to start using that now. Scrappy. How can you have a scrappy initiative, a scrappy marketing initiative? And we're seeing it. We're seeing tons of manufacturers who are now podcasting, who are doing videos, who are posting machinery, who are posting on a regular basis. So I think we're just scratching the surface. You're seeing a lot of people put out amazing content towards manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's going to get more and more. So man, get out there now, get out there sooner than later.
Yeah, right? That's for sure. That's for sure. It is an exciting time. I'm just blessed to be part of it. And I think it's so much fun. And we get to see some of it firsthand, and some of the lights come on because the lights come on. I mean, it's like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, it's absolutely priceless. And again, we've been very blessed. We're fortunate. We have a lot of testimonials where folks are like, I had no idea, and again, they just needed, there's a million things I don't know, it's just like you just need to, like you've helped me tremendously. Like we're on StreamYard right now, going on LinkedIn Live. Months ago, I was like, hey, Damon, I'd like to do this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm intimidated. I don't know how to do it. Oh, Curt, you just do this, 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 and this. You made it super easy. Now we do our LinkedIn Live together on Mondays. We do it on Fridays, but again, when you're first in it, it's a little daunting or overwhelming, but man, once you get into it, it doesn't need to be difficult, just having that, you enjoy using that word Sherpa. You just need that trusted guide, that Sherpa to get you on your way. And again, with e-commerce, man, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. There's just so much opportunity. I don't care what size manufacturer you are. I don't care where you fall in the food chain. And I guess a big takeaway, if anything today, have an open mind. I think we frequently, we'll run into like a lot of resistance. I call it the buts, but we can't do that. Yeah, but we can't, but, just step back and just think of the word that we really hammered for 2021, the possibilities.
Yeah.
Think of the possibilities of what you can offer,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. And I think that's it. And then just take the steps to learn enough to be dangerous. I mean, you don't have to be the expert, right? Because you talked about the MEPs, the SBDCs, and there's good professionals out there you can pay to help you too. But if you learn enough to be dangerous, you're not going to spend money. You're going to be able to ask the right questions of the people you're hiring. You're going to be able to get the right people to help you, and you're going to you have a much better chance of getting the results you want.
Absolutely. And, and again, what we love to preach, help that ideal buyer. What are they called? Soulmates. Help that soulmate make a buying decision on a Friday night at midnight without having to wait for you to open up your door on Monday. And think about, as a consumer, how do you like to be serviced? How do you like, what's the experience that you want now as consumers? And again, we were saying this 10 years ago. If you're not doing it, now it's like, it's beyond Mr. Captain or Captain Obvious now. You have to provide a good, healthy, smooth e-commerce website experience, or again, they're gone. They're just going to go somewhere else. If they can't see, Damon, you and your team are everywhere. If I'm looking to sell my business and I don't know anything about you, shame on me. I didn't do my homework, because you are all over the place. YouTube, online, LinkedIn, website, blogging, you name it, So if these two dudes can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I think. And it's not as daunting as it sounds.
It's not. No,
Yeah.
make it super simple.
Yeah. Well, Curt, it's been awesome talking to you today. Heck, I knew, we were like, yeah, what should we talk about? And I really think that hopefully we open we open some people's minds maybe to
Right.
trying some things that they were like, maybe not,
Right.
or maybe not. And maybe they got some more buts. Well, go figure out the buts and then to figure out how you're going to get there. Cause you're going to need to get there.
It's not, it's not for everybody, but hey, just, be relentless, keep trying new things. And, and like you said, just align yourself with those trusted advisors, surround yourself with great people,
Yeah.
we call them dream supporters, man. Surround yourself with dream supporters. As entrepreneurs, you're out there to crush your dreams, and just align yourself with the right people and make magic happen. So,
yeah. Well, Curt, thanks so much for being here today, my friend. I'm lucky enough here on the Faces of Business today to be speaking with none other than the Curt Anderson of B2B Tail and E-commerce Management Cooperative about the digital or the manufacturing digital transformation. We went all over the board talking about configurators and this and that. But hey, if you just came in this in the end, go back to the beginning and start it over. If you're going to try to do something about e-commerce, because Curt's talked to thousands of people over the last 2 years, teaching them some very good things about how to get started and get that information you need. So thanks for being here today, Curt. Appreciate you spending the time today. Appreciate everyone listening to us. We are going to have a lot of fun because I'm actually taking Thursday off on my podcast. Our live stream. I'm taking it off next Tuesday as well. Cause
are you really? Nice.
Yeah. I'm taking a couple of days off. It's just because it's a holiday and I'm going to wind down for the weekend and do some other things, but thanks so much for listening. We will be back again next Thursday and talking to some more awesome people about manufacturing and business.
Thank you, brother.
You bet.